Very good evening, everybody. It's Monday. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock. And you're very welcome on to this week's episode of Tea and Talks. My name is Graham. Joining me, as always, my good friend Jason. Jason, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. We've got a couple more days to the Super Bowl. It's always a good time. I'm down in my way, so hope you guys are all celebrating as well too.
Yeah, man. I was actually going to go with an NFL hat tonight just to kind of mix it up a little bit, and I thought, no, I'll save that for next week. And plus, the one that I found to hand is too small for my fat head now. So, I'll save the NFL ones for next week. So welcome on to this week's episode. We'll keep it baseball for the meantime. We'll maybe touch on the football next week if you've recovered, if your hangover's cleared, then we do a show next week, I suppose.
We'll have to do a show on Tuesday or Wednesday because it's Valentine's Day, and I know that the most romantic notion you can do is get your partner to come and sit down and watch Tea and Tops on a Monday night.
Yeah,
but we can probably push it back a day or two.
I don't know, man. By 9 o'clock, you'd be sick of each other by 9 o'clock.
Especially us married folks, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've got a free night. My wife and kids are out of the country, so I will be celebrating with a big fat steak, I'm sure.
I'm glad you said steak. All right, so moving swiftly on. A bit of a special show, or half a special show this week, where we're going to take a bit of a retrospective on Project 70 as it draws to a close this week. Jason's going to take us through his top 25 cards of the project, as well as speaking about what's happened the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we had a week off last week. We're now both families are fully recovered from COVID, so that's good news. And we're getting back into the swing of things. So we're going to kick off tonight with a couple of card sales. So we speak occasionally about notable cards that come up for auction. And I guess one crossed the old block this week, which I have here. So a 2020 Bowman Chrome Superfractor card of Jason Dominguez, who casual baseball fans or casual listeners to the show might not be aware of. So Jason Dominguez is 19 years old, and he plays for the New York Yankees. However, he's never played a game above single A ball. But that didn't stop his 2020 Bowman Superfractor autograph card PSA 10 selling at auction this week for $474,000 through Golden Auctions, which is, for somebody who's never played a game above single A ball, that's a brave bet, that one.
That's a lot of money to hedge your bet on that. I mean, we always joke and say Kevin Mass, Greg Jeffries, that.
Yeah. I saw a few posts like that this week, and man, did they make me laugh.
Yeah, I the last 19-year-old I know that actually played well in the major leagues at 19 was Alex Rodriguez, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, well, he ended up having a pretty well. I mean, he had a good career.
If you look at his career, and I'm sure maybe in 10 years' line, when the Hall of Fame looks at people's steroid use or not.
Oh my God!
Let's go there, because I said, obviously that's another hot topic with Bonds and
that is a hot topic. Yeah.
So
we can maybe save that one. Let's save that one. Yeah, we'll park that discussion because.
But I guess you'd say Juan Soto was 19 when he came up.
It's a pretty good comparison. I mean, the guy's a monster. Like we've spoken on the show, or I have spoken about. It's actually his birthday today, so happy birthday, Jason Dominguez! If you happen to be listening to our humble baseball card podcast, so just turned 19 today. But I mean, the guy is a monster, right? Physically, he's a beast, and everyone still seems to be pretty high on him as far as prospects and scouting and stuff goes. But yeah, I mean, he's had cards now for a couple of years. I want to say like 3 years at least. For him to still not have played a game above single A is and to be commanding these sums is quite something.
I guess you could say Wander Franco. I mean, what's the Wander Franco 101 going for? I mean, it can't be near $500,000.
Well, funny you should mention that. For a point of reference, essentially the same card of Wander Franco, who made his debut, let's not forget, for the big club last year, went for just under $200,000. So more than twice the amount for guys never played a game above single A ball. So yeah, that's bold. That's bold in this market. But then overall, people say that the card market is, to quote, correcting itself, which means that prices are tanking. I don't know
so
if
it's not just Project 70 is tanking.
It's not just Project 70. Apparently, the whole market is tanking now. Whether I don't know what the whole market means. I saw one article. I didn't do a ton of research on this, but I saw one article referencing it. And whose snippy soundbite did it come from? Well, it's one of our favorite internet windbags, Vegas Dave, who sold his Mike Trout Superfractor, as I'm sure we'll all remember, for $4.7 million or something ridiculous. Just about a year ago, and apparently now the market for that card is barely $1 million. So this is apparently evidence of the market, of the card market correcting itself. I mean, tell that to people who are buying hobby boxes, because those prices aren't moving. Those prices are still up. So prices on high-end singles may be correcting themselves, but that's, I don't think, a general reflection of the hobby as a whole. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think you're hitting those cards and you're immediately selling it because there'll be somebody with stupid money, or it's, fractional ownership. I think that's what it is. They bid on that card because I guess it's not that big of a deal. That kind of money's already there.
Yeah. But I thought it was a fairly interesting way to try and say that the market was correcting, to take the most expensive card in history as the only barometer. Well, look at NFL, look at Prism Mosaic NFL boxes and stuff. They're still over $1,000 for a hobby box, whereas 3 years ago they were like $3. So sealed prices are still up. NFL prices are still bananas. I mean, NFL prices are bananas just now because, especially for 2020 product, with Joe Burrow's. Funny we mentioned the Super Bowl. Here we're talking about NFL cards. But Joe Burrow's taking the Bengals to the Super Bowl, and of course his rookie card was only from 2 years ago. So all those products are heading off to the stratosphere once again after they'd sort of cooled off as people chase his rookie card. So yeah, a bold assessment to say that the sale of one card is now the market correcting itself, but it's interesting nonetheless, I think.
You're absolutely right. Like I said, it may be correcting it for the high end market, but like the everyday collector, you probably care less. I have no sympathy for whoever pays, $5 million for a Mike Trout card that's only worth $1.5 million now.
$1 million now, yeah. So they say that's the estimate. Yeah, like which expert it was that said that, I don't know. I feel it was just
Vegas Dave,
as we would say here in Scotland, opening his mouth and letting his belly rumble.
Well,
or
if he's a good businessman,
talking fish.
If he's a good businessman, he buys it back at 1.5 and then waits to correct himself again.
Oh, but yeah, it's a great shout. Yeah, you're dead right. Yeah,
as I said, put your money where your mouth is, right?
Oh, he's building a Derek Carr master site or something. So he's all over the Las Vegas Raiders. That's his, or it was. I don't know if he's still in that market. He's also shouting about NFTs, like every internet windbag is at the moment. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Our NFTs are coming out soon, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we need to get on that. Yeah, I could be launching it. No, let's not get into NFTs. So there we go. Just under $500,000 for a kid who turns 19 today and has never played a game above Class A. That stat maybe sounds worse than it actually is, because of course the entire minor league season was wiped out in 2020. So that's maybe slightly unfair, but yeah, it makes for a good headline. And there might not even be a season this year, so who knows?
Yeah, but still, I mean, if he's mashing, I have no idea what his stats are. I just know the hype around him about how good he is there. You think he starts in low A and ends up in double A this year. And then, you take from there. I mean, somebody's got to take Brett Gardner's spot in the outfield.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be Freddie Freeman by all accounts, but let's wait and see what happens there. So in 49 games for Class A Tampa last year, Dominguez hit 258, 346, 398 with 9 doubles, a triple, 5 homers, 18 RBIs, 26 runs scored, 7 steals, 21 walks, and 67 of your New York Yankees strikeouts. We do love a guy who strikes out 3 times as much as he walks.
Yeah. Oh, well, so like I said,
that's not lighting it up, to be fair, but kid's young. He's only 19 years old. So
exactly. I mean, he's playing, low A ball. You're playing against guys that are just out of college. They're 21, 22, 23. So, they're a little bit more mature. They're going to have secondary and third pitches that, he's got to adjust to. So he's holding his own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously people are still high on him. So yeah, let's see in 3-4 years time. And he's hitting chip shots into the right field seats in Yankee Stadium. And I'm doing my happy dance. Who knows?
High five and Anthony Rizzo.
That's it, man. Yeah. We need to. I'll be Freddie Freeman by that point. Don't worry. So moving on from there. So that was one entire baseball card for $474,000. So moving on to half of a baseball card. So a story we touched on a few months ago, where essentially half of a T206 Honus Wagner was going to be going to auction. It also sold this week for $476,000. So for $2,000 more than you can get a Jason Dominguez Superfractor, you can be the proud owner of pretty much 60% of a T206 Honus Wagner card. Yeah, maybe to get a whole baseball card for $474,000 is a bargain. Who knows?
Well, maybe we should start ripping up our cards now so you get half of it there, half of there, right?
That's it, I know, right? Just quickly reading up on the story. So I only spotted this just mere moments before we came online, so I'm still kind of scanning the stories. So we'd obviously spoken about it before, that half of our card was going up. I'm kind of glad we get to bring some closure to this story. So in general terms, the price of T206 Wagners in any condition rose rapidly in 2021. One sold for $3.75 million back in May, and then another sold for $6.6 million in August. So I suppose to get like 53% of one for $476,000 kind of feels like a bargain. But there you go. That's we asked the question, how much is half a baseball card worth? Your answer, $476,000.
Exactly. Like I said, it's still something cool. Like I said, you're not going to see many of them. I don't even know how many are in existence. So it's still a pretty cool thing to have. I definitely would.
Oh yes, I mean it's still the holy grail card for, I'd say, most passionate baseball card collectors. Those who are chasing more than Mike Trout rookies and Juan Soto bat down variations and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still the flagship card for the hobby. Obviously, the story behind it with him, being anti-tobacco and all that kind of stuff, and it being a tobacco card it brings a bit extra to it. But yeah, there you go. 476,000, half a card.
So how long do you think before it shows back up for auction again? You think it shows in the next 5 years?
Oh, good question.
Or do you
I think if you're spending, this is a really crappy take, but if you're spending that kind of money on a card, you'd like to think these are going into people's collections, because perhaps, as Vegas Dave quite rightly points out, at a certain point, you're really into the world of diminishing returns. If you're buying a card for $6.6 million, for example, you're not buying that to quick flip. You might be buying it to flip, but maybe not quick flip. 5 years doesn't seem unreasonable. Yeah, maybe we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe when COVID-20 comes along, or COVID-22 comes along, and we have another boom. Yeah, maybe it reappears. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Because yeah, like I said, $500,000 is a lot of money to spend on a card. That's going to be in someone's collection. So or it's a long-term investment strategy. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's getting tucked away in a safe deposit box. And thanks very much.
Take some photos with it. Go, oh look, I own this card. Fantastic.
That's it. Yeah. That's what I would do. I'd take a selfie with it, then just go and stash it away somewhere.
Right to the bank safety deposit box. All right, there you go.
Oh, 100%. Jolly good. Well, there we go. So that was I guess this week's news and auctions. Yeah, two pretty significant cards. Like I say, sold within hours of each other as well. all happening this weekend. And January is supposed to be a month where nobody has any money. Clearly, there's money still floating around.
When you're an ultra wealthy person, it doesn't really make a difference.
It's true. Yeah, when you've got $500,000 to drop on a hobby, you're not really too concerned about the fact it's a 6-week pay month for a lot of people. Anywho, moving along from Scottish problems to Topps 70th anniversary party. So just this past weekend at Spin, which is a table tennis club or a table tennis bar. I don't really know
it's
how
a bar.
You describe it. A table tennis bar in New York City. Topps held their 70th anniversary party. So what this is, if you buy the Topps flagship product, and they're doing it again this year with Topps flagship, which Series 1 releases on Wednesday of this week. But if you pull a golden ticket, or I think it was actually a silver ticket, you get invited to the Topps, a special Topps party, and it was held this past weekend. It was supposed to be held in Vegas back in November, but COVID put pay to that, so it got moved from Vegas to New York, and it was held just this past weekend. In attendance were the Guerreros, so Vlad Jr. and Vlad Sr., and Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, who seems to get wheeled out for every Topps event. It's starting to feel like. He must have a nice retainer from the Topps company.
Yeah, I would assume so. It seems like he is everywhere at the moment. Like he said, wherever you go, it's like, all right, you need some Donnie Baseball autographs? All right, let's do it.
Yeah, he's there, man. He's there with pen in hand, looking well. To be honest, from some of the pictures I saw, he's looking well. So that's good news. A funny moment. Good question, because it was the Marlins, and I should probably know the answer.
It's been a while.
Quite possibly. I'll Google that in a minute.
I'll go look it up. You go on.
You look that up right now. Yeah. So one funny story that came out of it, Vlad Jr. was asked a question from the audience going, "Oh, your dad has such a great career, and what is it you think you can do to how are you going to like stack up to?" I can't remember the exact word in the question, and his very witty response was, "I plan on winning a World Series." So, he rather torched his dad, which I think was pretty funny. So there were it's pretty great, right? So there were 50 tickets available to this event that were pulled from that you could pull out the flagship product. There were a lot of industry people there as well, so a lot of breakers, which we'll get on to when we speak about the launch of Series 1 coming out. Officially releases on Wednesday, but there's the RIP party tomorrow. So a lot of folk from the industry were there, as well as the 50 lucky ticket holders. By all events, a fantastic evening. Plenty of swag who are available. Pictures flying around on Twitter. There were lots of things given away. There's a box of Finest that I can see in a picture. An autographed baseball. There were exclusive sets. So an exclusive through the year set. Lots of autograph cards. Buyback 1-of-1 cards of Ichiro, Willie Mays, Manny Machado. There was the Topps 70th anniversary Platinum edition, which was an event exclusive one, although Platinum edition is coming out, I think, in the next week or 10 days. But this was an exclusive set. They had exclusive factory sets as well, so lots of swag. A very cool Topps emblazoned ping pong table, which looks pretty sweet in some of the pictures, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, they used to go to a ping pong bar, so
yeah, they did their own table. It's funny. A little side note: I had reason to look for a custom ping pong table about a year and a half ago, and you can get them for about $7,000. So not a horrific amount of money, but yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Signature drinks. There were some throwback cocktails to celebrate the 1951 card set. So there was a red back, which was the Negroni, and the blue back, which was a blue margarita infused with pineapple. So, top shelf drinks, top shelf entertainment. All sounds like a lovely time. So if you're opening any of flagship this year, Series 1, like I say, out on Wednesday, keep an eye out for those silver tickets. You can maybe get an invite along to the 2022 party, which hopefully we'll be back in Vegas again, because as much as Spin in New York, I imagine, is pretty cool, I think a weekend in Vegas to go to a Topps thing would be even better.
It would definitely be much wilder.
Yeah, it would be much wilder. Yeah. I've got a funny feeling if it's November in Vegas, I think they might have held it at the same time or in conjunction with or alongside the Beckett Summit that happens in Vegas.
Yes, which we need to go
because
to.
that's in November. Yeah, which we're shooting. I can't say that in case my wife's listening. No, I'm not planning on going to Vegas without you.
Yes. Please come along. It's a family trip to Vegas. The kids can just
a family trip to Vegas.
Get dropped off with the grandparents. So yeah, it's an interesting note. One of the groups I'm in a break group with a friend of a friend of all things. He's and invited me to the group. I haven't actually done any of his breaks yet. And this is the second year his group has sent somebody to the event.
So no way. That's pretty cool.
So the guy in the group was telling me about the night. He said it was about 50-50 of people who actually pulled it and kept the ticket, and the other half had actually sold the ticket to somebody to go there.
I'm not surprised. I mean, obviously, one of the most popular ways of getting into cards these days is through breaks. The odds on these things being pulled by breakers is pretty high, just because of the sheer volume of stuff. The sheer volume of product that passes through breakers, the odds on the breakers finding these are obviously pretty decent, right? And yeah, a lot of breakers will pay you money for them, and then they'll either sell it on or they'll go themselves if they're not going to get an invite from Topps. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that I mean, there's probably a fair. I hadn't really considered that actually, but maybe some of the industry people and breakers and stuff that I saw that were there perhaps have bought the tickets off people who have hit it and just didn't want to go. So
yeah, could be.
It'd still be a cool thing, I think.
Next year we'll put in, we have the UK represented, the Europe represented.
When we go to Fanatics, whatever.
It's going to be in some crappy warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or it could be the total opposite. It could be on like a yacht in St. Kitts and Nevis or something. I don't know, like down in the Bahamas. That'd be pretty awesome.
Either way, we need to be represented there because that we're severely unrepresented outside of North America. So absolutely,
yeah. Like I say, that's maybe one of the good things that's going to come with maybe with Fanatics driving a more global approach to these things. Perhaps those kind of things will happen, but we'll see. We'll start working these contacts already. So yeah, a good night had by all in New York at the weekend at the Topps 70th anniversary party by all accounts. So yeah, keep an eye on your flagship boxes just in case you hit a ticket and you want to go to the next one. That would be pretty awesome. And on the subject of series,
dollar amount, what would you call it? If you hit it, what kind of dollar amount would you put on it if you're going to sell it?
Great question. So the only other thing that I can think to compare it to is obviously in every case of Topps Transcendent, which is a $25,000 case that comes out every year. Each one of those, you're guaranteed an invite to another exclusive Topps event, but it's, choose my words carefully, slightly more premium, I guess, than this would be. Because you've got 50 people who are paying 25 grand for a case of cards. Whether it's breakers or whoever else, right? Whereas with the flagship ones, that's it's a bit more. The Transcendent one's a tough comparison, but the only thing you could compare it to, the Topps Transcendent party tickets go from anywhere sort of $5,000 to $7,000. For this one, I mean, you'd get $1,000 for it, probably.
Really, that little. I got really cool stuff out of it. The swag was really cool. So
the swag was really cool. But yeah, I mean, just to compare the size and because the Transcendent one, they're always big names. Not that Don Mattingly's a shit name or Vlad Guerrero Jr. or Senior is a shit name, because they're not, right? But at the last Transcendent party, it's like it's dripping in Hall of Famers. It's the one where Topps rolls out all of the big guns. Cheaters there. And it's guys of that caliber, shall we say?
And he's not charging you $500 for a signature there.
No, and you're probably not coming away with a gift basket either. But
hey, you never know. Play your cards right.
You never know. So yeah, so it's kind of difficult to compare, but yeah, I think if a Transcendent ticket goes for $5 to $7 grand, yeah, you're gonna. I'd be asking 4 figures for my top 70th anniversary party. I mean, so there's only 50 of them. They're far harder to hit.
Oh yeah, the odds
there's only 50, and the Topps Rip Party, which is tomorrow, which helps us segue nicely into the next into talking about the launch of Series 1. So a bit like last year, Topps are doing a Rip Party, but they're not actually doing a live event, which was, shall we say, cringeworthy last year. Although it was quite fun to watch. It was really poor. It was poor. So they've either learnt their lesson and thought, we're just not going to do this again, or they maybe planned an in-person and then left, and then COVID, and they've left it too late. I don't really know. It feels a bit. They've gone off half-cocked, but
it did come off half-cocked. Like, we were excited for it, and then when they're, we've had the discussions outside of this, and you're opening up, 88 Topps. It was like, come on. Like I said, you could at least get those guys rookie cards to have a chance to pull their own rookie cards. That would have been cool. But yeah, I guess in our minds, it was could have been so much better.
It could have been. It could have been incredible.
Yeah,
like it could have been incredible, and yeah, it just ended up being
yeah.
Yeah, it was very meh. Yeah, you're right. That's the right way of putting it. So this year, the Topps aren't doing their own event, but the Rip Party is still going ahead. So they're still aiming to rip 1 million cards, which has been the theme, I think, the last 3 years. So pre-COVID days, they did the first one of these at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where they did it live. And they had breakers in for 24 hours, and they ripped through 1 million cards, 1 million Series 1 cards. So they're keeping that theme. They're going for the 1 million card Rip Party again. And they're just inviting you now to get involved with one of their partners, one of their breakers, who's partnered up for this event. So if you go to topps.com/rip-party, you can see all the guys who are involved. So all the big names are there, names that we here in the UK are familiar with. So Leighton's, Mojo Breaks, Real Breaks, who I tend to put my business to. All the guys who have been in the last few years, they're doing it again this year, but just through their own platforms. So most of these, obviously, all these guys stream live, mostly Facebook, Twitch, Breakers TV, that kind of those kind of places. So yeah, go get involved with your local breaker if you feel the need, or your favorite Scottish breaker once his boxes arrive. There's a little plug. But yeah, if you want to get involved in the Rip Party, it's tomorrow. It's kind of fun. They're kind of fun to watch. A lot of these breakers, they're pretty good guys. You get good banter and whatever else. So it'll be quite a fun event. But yeah, it's a shame Topps aren't doing a special live stream or anything for it again. I guess maybe they made more of an effort last year with it being the 70th anniversary, but it still would have been cool for them to do something. Start of the new baseball card season is quite a big day for a lot of people. A lot of people here in the UK are excited for 2022 products, and we are a very small fish in a large pond. So I imagine that it's generating quite a bit of buzz in the States. So they could have done something for it, but hey, we'll see. Maybe in future years.
Who knows? So we'll find out. Like I said, it's tough now. It's there's no baseball. We're still in lockout. So it's hard to get excited for anything. So if anything, I'm excited to know there's new cards coming out. And I was going to say, if you are a breaker, it does help if you know your sport.
Okay, we're getting close to some dangerous ground here. I'm not going to comment because I don't want it to be confused as like sour grapes or bitching about competitors or anything like that. So
no. I'll stand by my comment.
I'll be very careful. Yeah, I won't get involved in this. But yeah, that team with Trout in it. It was okay.
Yes, we're fine. So, but yes, it does help if you know the sport you're actually breaking that and you can pronounce the guy's names. So,
yeah. Don't say that. I can't pronounce half our names. Come on, man. That's half the fun, though.
But I usually just give you crap because you can't get the Mariners right.
No, I can't get them. I know, right? Kellenic. It took me 6 months to
there
learn
we go.
Kellenic. Yeah, I know it now.
And it's not Trammell, it's Trammell. Taylor Trammell.
Taylor Trammell, is it?
Trammell, yeah.
It's Trammell.
No, it's Trammell.
Jeez. So there we go. Yeah. So there you go. Get excited for 2022 baseball cards. They come on Tuesday. Well, the rip party is Tuesday. The official retail release is Wednesday. No, God, Laura, have you just made me look a fool?
Oh no, we now gotta look it up, huh?
Oh, do you know what? I think she might be right.
It's next week. It is. I don't know. So I'll blame the COVID. So.
Oh man, it is next week. What an idiot! It's the 15th.
There we go. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll go live on the 15th because we're not going to do a Valentine's Day one. We'll do our own rip party. And I think I've got some like 93 Fleer I can open.
93 Fleer. Goodness. Yeah, I've still got some 87 tops knocking around. I'll send you something down.
We'll have a ghetto rip party, and it'll be fun there.
Yeah.
So
we'll do our own one, seeing as none of us are official outside of America. So,
anyways,
there you go. I'm an idiot. It's not this week.
So David's not watching this. So,
sorry. I
So
sorry, I talked over your shout out.
So just a couple shouts out. A couple people have commented already. So just make sure we get those in while we can.
Yeah. And Laura's correct. It's next week. I'm too excited. That's my problem. I'm too excited. It's next week. Do you know why I think it's this week? Because I managed to secure my stock on Friday, and and it's usually like the week before that I can get the stuff. But no, there you go. That's what's thrown me off. But yeah, you're quite right. Launches on the 16th of February, so a week from Wednesday, and the rip party is on the 15th of February. So yeah, the day after Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do a little mini rip party next a week on Tuesday. I've got some stuff set aside to open for myself, so I'll maybe save some of it for next week.
You know what? I still have my Topps UK box.
Do you really? Wow.
I haven't touched that yet, so maybe I'll bust into that. Yeah, I haven't decided what I want to do with it.
I've still got 3 of them, and I've got 3 Japan edition as well. So
maybe
I might not have 3 of them by this time next week. I might break them this week, but we'll see.
That's true. We'll come up with something. We'll find something to rip. Like I said, it might be 91 Studio. It might be 93 Fleer.
Man, you love 91 Studio.
I do. It's the best. It's the
I've still got my expensive shelf here, which nobody's interested in buying. So it has a box of museum collection, a box of tribute, 2 boxes of tier 1, and a box of 5-star, and now a box of gold label on it. So all in all, that's about $1,500.
Oh well, like I said, a raffle. Everyone buys it in
a raffle. Yeah,
$10 to go, and you get a box out of there. That's
it, man. Yeah. Hey, I'm celebrating a promotion. Let's go wild.
Let's go wild. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
We'll push our ghetto rip party for next week. We'll
push it to next week because I was completely wrong. And yeah, Series 1 flagship is out next week, 16th of February, and the rip party is the 15th. Not as I've been saying all night, tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm completely wrong. All right. Talking of things coming to an end, like my career as a podcaster, Project 70 is winding up this week.
It is. Wednesday is the last drop of the project. There's going to be, let me see, I figure if they go, because they've gone to 6 cards now, because they'll really push the boat out there to make sure they get everything out there, will come to a total of 939 cards. So we'll be well short of that 1,020 cards they'd hoped to. There's been various artists that have dropped out for various reasons, or just not produced cards, or just gone missing, or just didn't complete their set. But the news today, we have a new low. So the Jacob Rochester wrapper card, which is really cool. I wish I would have bought it, but money's tight at the moment because I got to pay for those UK top cards. New low for the project, 474. So it was a very weak 6-pack sales. I mean, there was a Jorge Soler card. Not that there. A Brewstar Gatorol. Yeah, not make fun if you're not doing that. Which is not a bad card if you're a Dodger fan, but I'm not buying relief pitchers that throw 100-mile-per-hour cards. That's not high on my list of collections there. And yeah, it just wasn't a very strong one, and everyone kind of just ended up buying the Soulfly Ohtani card anyways, so they just kind of skipped over that. So yes, it was a very weak 6-pack. and it's low. But Wednesday's the last drop. I know there is a Ben Baller Mike Trout 8-bit card coming out. There is a JK5 Hideki Matsui card coming out. And Ski just announced that he is dropping a Ken Griffey Jr. Hip Hop Hooray card. So, it's going to be Naughty by Nature inspired, cards in there. So lots of stuff coming out. They've really pushed the boat. They've not given us a break because they've dropped cards the last 2 weekends at all to make as much money they can off us. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the sudden rush to get this project over and done with. With there being a lockout and stuff now and no spring training, so there's no like Topps Now spring training cards or anything like that. It suddenly feels odd that they're pushing this so hard to get out of the way, because it's something to keep the buzz. We just spoke about it's nice to have. We don't have any baseball, so it's nice to have baseball cards. And if they'd pared this back again and gone back to maybe 2 or 3 cards a day while we're locked out of baseball, it's going to be a nice way to garner, to keep the interest kind of bubbling along a little bit, maybe.
I think they have something up their sleeve. I think there's something else that's coming out, because why else would you force it so hard? I mean, like the 6-pack sales have been very low. You're getting anywhere from yesterday's 6-pack, or let's say was 283, which is low. You're kind of getting anywhere to 400 to 600 of your 6-pack sales, because it's $90. Like I said, you may like 3 cards. You may be okay, well, maybe not, but you like a 4th card, you're picking up the 6-pack. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Where at a 4-pack, I mean, quite often I would buy, if I like 2 of the cards, I buy the 4-pack because, what the hell, might hit a foil card, might hit a 101. You never know.
Yeah, 101, you never know. Yeah, they happened. It happened.
They do happen. And I think there's just something else coming up. I think it was so mismanaged the whole time. And we've gone from 2 to 4 to 6 to 4 to 2 to none to just kind of all over the place. I think they just want to just wipe their hands clean of it and go, okay, we're done. Which is a real shame, because there's actually been some really excellent cards that have come out in the last month, but the sales will be so low because people are finishing off sets here and there, and they're not so inclined to maybe buy. Well, maybe I'll buy a 5-pack and foil chase on this one. They go, well, I'll buy my 1 and get my 1. So I'll be struggling. Like I said, I'll be very happy 4:00 on Saturday when all the cards are gone. I don't have to set up on the website anymore. I don't have to use social media. I'm sure every person in the UK Twitter community would be glad that I've done tagging them for the last 2 years. Oh, you laugh. I had someone actually ask me to say, please stop tagging me in the photos. I think these are the worst cards ever. So
oh my gosh. So, I would ask who that was, but you can tell me off the air.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people will be happy that they're no longer doing it. But you know what? It's been good. I've loved every minute of it. There's been some atrocious cards. There's been some fantastic cards. But yeah, come Saturday.
Atrocious cards? Action Bronson.
I like his cards.
I like them as well, man. I'm pandering to the audience. What can I say?
Excuse me. I mean, I think you can talk about say Ron English's Yogi Berra, which was that one, and now Action Bronson's Yogi Berra is probably one of the worst cards out there. But,
well, yeah, because the Yogi Berra Foundation, the family came out to protest that card.
Yes, they did. They were not happy about it there. So
holy shit.
Wow. So, but you know what? It generated a lot of interest in the project, so you can't complain.
Yeah. Hey, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yes, true. So we'll see what happens. But I know Lauren Taylor has a set coming out that she hasn't been able to talk about yet. I know Ermsey said he's got a set coming out. So all you Ermsey fans,
interesting.
F. Dot said he's done with Topps, or he said he's taking a break from Topps. So I'm pretty sure he's done with there.
He's done with Topps. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be there. I've tried contacting various artists to see if they're going to do anything else. I believe Alex Pardee is doing something again. So,
well, I mean that makes sense because he was kind of the breakout star of Project 70. Like a lot of people who have done really well on the project, like Pardee, like Lawrence, yeah, they kind of had a bit of a jump start with being in Project 2020. But then, Pardee and Lauren, like you say, the two real breakouts from Project 70, so that makes sense. Jason's having a cough.
There we go. Yes, I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't mute that. So when it comes to the podcast form, people go, so yeah, so those are kind of the breakout stars. You had the people there, but you could see like the Blake Jameson. I think his heart wasn't in the cards as much as it is in the NFT space at the moment. So Ben Baller is more interested in NFTs and being with PSA and his own weed. He does his own weed.
Doesn't he really? That's interesting.
Ben Baller does the weed. So
what's the Jersey Shore stance on that? for when we go to the National in the summer?
Yeah, we'll have to find. No, I did look. It's not legal in Jersey yet.
Dang it. We can gamble at least, like we can sports bet.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see guys gambling with their PSA 10 cards.
I wouldn't put it past any of these people.
Yes. So yeah, so I think if you were in Project 2020, you kind of had a built-in base of people there. I mean, I really thought Snoop would really kind of blow the project away. I thought there'd be a bunch of Snoop fans. I mean, the one thing I did learn, Snoop gets his name from Snoopy. I had no idea.
Yeah, that was a revelation from Ski's drop, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. His whole thing is like, if you go back and look at Doggy Style, it is a riff on Snoopy.
So, there we go. It was right in front of us all the time.
It really was, yeah. I never would have guessed. So yeah, they brought some new blood to the project. I think a lot of people got burned out in the project because I know, like Ski was saying, he'd asked to do Wander Franco, Bo Jackson, and there was somebody else I can't think off the top of my head, and they were denied by either Topps or MLB because they didn't have the license or they didn't want to give up the license. So I think people were like, well, I've tried, but nothing's coming out. So I'm actually really curious how far they got along in the project before they were saying, no, that's not going to work. Because I know, like, Jonas never had his Joe Kelly card. They said no, so he ended up putting it into a picture behind him in the Joe Kelly card, so you can actually still get it in there.
So you got it by,
If you saw,
it's interesting. I feel like it was quite late in the project where these stories started to leak out about, cards getting altered or getting just flat out denied, and it felt like that was a developing story through the project. I don't think they had that battle the whole way through.
No, I think it started kind of in September, October.
Yeah, because they scored some big wins early in the project because they got obviously the rights to produce. Topps got the rights to the Mickey Mantle family back, so they were able to do Mantle cards, which they weren't able to do right at the start of Project 70 or during Project 2020. They announced that they'd taken the rights back, and then like Blake dropped a Project 70 card the same day, right? Which
it was Josh Vides.
Vides, that's right, yeah. And that put a few of the artists' noses out of joint. And then Bo Jackson was a bit of a holdout for a while, but then obviously we got some Bo Jackson cards.
So the rumor of that one is there was the Keith Shore Bo Jackson card, and he hated it so much that he took his rights back from there. That's how it is. Like he did not like his Keith Shore card, so that's why they stopped doing the Bo Jackson cards. So because they were saying, because they were saying, we don't have his rights. Then all of a sudden they had his rights. And then all of a sudden his rights went away there. So, it's known that he will not sign that card. If you send him that card to sign,
that's true. Yeah, he won't sign it. Yeah.
So
that's wild.
Which is funny. So the people that actually bought the Bo Jackson autograph card from Topps got a replacement, got a Shohei Ohtani card signature instead.
Oh, well, that's quite an upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be complaining about that.
No. I mean, the whole Bo Jackson story is obviously like a phenomenal story. Two sports star and all that kind of thing. And a lot of people, I think, are a lot of people are passionate about the Bo Jackson cards for that very reason, right? But he's not. But caliber of player wise, to get a modern Ohtani autograph, I think is more than a fair replacement.
Absolutely. I think that was probably the only way they were going to get people to go, right? Okay, we're going to do this. And I think Bo yeah, not a fan of my card. Don't think so.
Oh, there we go. So Bo Jackson pissed off of one of his cards. The Yogi Berra, the Berra family pissed off of one of the Yogi Berra cards. Well,
so it's been interesting though. I've been following a couple of TTM groups, and most of the players are signing their cards. So the responses have been, like either in a private signing or they've done TTM with them, and they said that most of the players have actually enjoyed their cards and thought they were quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, can you imagine being Raleigh Fingers and getting your Alex Pardee card to sign?
that would be pretty amazing. Yeah,
I mean, I would have loved to see this reaction, because I mean, who knows if they get to see the cards before it comes out? It might just be like, oh, here's this card out. What do you think?
I mean, probably not, because the contract that you sign is just a general. You're giving up the rights to your image to the Players Association. And it's the Players Association, I believe, who will manage it on their behalf. But even then, I wouldn't expect the Players Association to be making judgment calls on, is this good art or not? Because as we've mentioned any number of times, beauty is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to a number of things in life. But with these cards specifically, go back to Project 2020 when one of Keith Shore's cards was unanimously awarded the worst baseball card ever produced. But then there's heaps of people who are super passionate about collecting his cards, right? And so it's like, well, one person's turd is another person's trophy, It's
and you still can't find that card for under $150.
Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah. But then again, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So yeah, I mean, I don't suppose at the end of the players have too much control, which is why these cards come out, like the Berra card and the Bo Jackson card, and it's only after the event that the family or the subject of the card gets pissed off about it, because they don't get to view it before it comes out. It's just it's a general thing you sign away, to say you're signing away your image rights to the Players Association so it can be used where required,
So it's funny you actually bring that up there, because Old Man Allen came out with his Javier Baez card, and it was a complete ripoff of the obvious shirt El Mayo card, was Maggio card, and everyone, you've just ripped off obvious shirts, and so he sent obvious shirts a DM to say, look, didn't realize this was your artwork. Literally picked up this image from Getty Images and used it, and that's how I came up with the card.
There you go. And then we had we had the problem with the missing card as well, right? The Otani, the manga inspired Otani, wasn't it?
Yes. So actually, funny enough, the Soulfly came out with the other card of that. That was the one that sold 2,200 today. So they they finally came out with another version of that card there. But yeah, again, the Magna card never came to light, and I've got something in the works for that. I've got my own knockoff version that coming out. It's good to know guys that have high quality printers that can, maybe put a label across another Project 2020 card.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that their remit was basically, go use Getty Images, and whatever you find there we can license for you. So but yeah, like I say, if it's somebody's shirt design and it wasn't obvious, then yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Obvious, huh? It was obvious shirts.
Obvious shirts, yeah. I didn't know that story.
Your dad's jokes are outstanding.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
So that was interesting there. Just to kind of go that he didn't actually realize that. And I guess that's what you get. I think some of these people are proper baseball fans, and so doing the work is a lot of fun for them. But I think a lot of the guys are artists first, and maybe kind of follow the sport here and there. And so when you have asked to produce a card, you might go, it's just a cool image, we'll use that one there. So you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the motivation. I should pick my words carefully again, but yeah, you can kind of see the ones who are passionate about it. I think it carries through. And thinking of like Lauren, and I guess we're biased because we had her on the show, and it was her passion for the sport is patently obvious, right? Because, you know, she played softball in college and had the horrific injury and all that kind of stuff, and is just a genuine fan of the sport. I think ski would fall in that bracket as well, you know, genuine fan of the sport. And then, yeah, some of the other people, some of the other folk who were involved, you just feel like it's like, well, yeah, it's almost like, well, yeah, I'll go and do these baseball cards and see what kind of spin-off I get from it, or, you know, does it generate anything for my brand?
Exactly.
Ben Baller.
Ben Baller. He's done, you know, Baller Chrome. He's with PSA now. You know, it's
Topps went all in on Baller after people lost their minds over his Project 2020 cards, but it feels very much like, well, to me personally, it feels like that's very much burnt out now. It was a very sort of 2020 thing, and then as quick as it came, it kind of went again. But it doesn't feel like there's been the same hyper and Baller stuff.
I don't think
he's pushed it as much.
He's definitely not pushed it. I mean, guys, remember he gave away a chain, and it was going to give away his chain there.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it $10,000 chain to go with that? So
that was with a Jeter card as well, wasn't it?
It was the Jeter card. Yeah.
I check my memory.
Yeah, the number 2. You get the number 2 there. So the
necklace, yeah.
But you know, he didn't push it, and it was just interesting. And again, like someone like Snoop, who has a million different tie-ins, like Martha Stewart and lighters and you know, weed, whatever. That maybe he could have, you know, done that a little bit more promotion for his stuff. No, nothing. Saw nothing from Snoop. Didn't even come on the show. Never returned our emails.
Never returned the emails. I know he's too busy doing Olympics coverage.
Is he doing Olympics coverage?
For the summer games last year, yeah, he did. Him and Kevin Hart did that highlight show, and I keep seeing clips of it. It was hilarious, man. I keep seeing clips of it on TikTok. It's like when Snoop is first exposed to dressage, you know, the horse dancing thing. And that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like
it's
if you don't, yeah, the horse crip walking. I'm gonna get the horse in a video. It's like the funniest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, go on YouTube and search for like Snoop Dogg Olympics or something like that. It's some of the clips are just incredible. It's so funny.
Yeah, they have very good takes on something that they have no idea about. So I can only I just thought maybe they're doing the Olympic, the winter one as well.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they are. I kind of hope that they are, but yeah, the other classic was when they were covering the opening ceremony and the Saudi Arabia team walked out. Oh man, it was just great. And they're like, nope, not saying anything. Nope. Wait for the Saudi Arabia team to walk past, and then they started their stuff up again. It's so good. No, not doing Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's brilliant. Here,
all right. This comes into the perfect tie-in to close everything out here. So let's close out the show with my top 25 cards of Project
Top 25 cards, yeah.
Top 25 there. So I stole this from Paul Lesko, who did his top 25 cards. And then I went, damn, can I do it? And I know the project's not over yet, but I'm figuring these next 12 cards weren't going to make the cut. It would have to do it. I mean,
we could almost have them as wild cards next week if we have to.
We'll see. Well, considering I know like hardly 3 or 4 of them are, I don't think they make it. The Griffey cards had to be pretty special from Ski to make it. So with I saved the last one being number 1 card from the set. I did save that one, but I just went by my artist alphabetical order. So number 1, I guess we'll go this way. Alex Pardis Acuna, because that was the first one that introduced you to the project there, and that was the style we were kind of hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Pardis Mookie Betts. I like Mookie Betts as a bat. Thought that was really kind of inspired. Thought that was a fun there. Unusual. Andrew Thiel's Rod Crew card. I don't know if you saw that one or not, but if you see it, it is outstanding. It looks like almost a photo. It is really done there. So funny enough, I do have a Ben Baller card on here. I have the Ben Baller. Kyle Lewis. Well, he's got the Sonics kind of throwback into there, so I kind of say I'm a bit of a sucker for the Sonics there. So the Kyle Lewis card, I do like that. Brittany Palmer's Jim Palmer card with the Pac-Man on it.
A Brittany Palmer card cracking your top 25.
It does, yeah. I do like that. I don't know why Pac-Man's with Jim Palmer. I never got the reference there, but I do like the fact there's Pac-Man and Jim Palmer. So I thought it was a pretty cool card. Chuck Styles, 1986, Fernando Tatis Jr., which is the same as the show card. If you look at it, it's almost exactly the same. So I thought that was pretty well inspired there. F. Dot's Mike Schmidt card. I kind of just like F. Dot's kind of cartoonish thing he had there. I thought it was a good card. Mike Schmidt was actually not as represented as I thought it was. Maybe he's more of a jerk than he is because he only got like 3 cards. I really enjoyed Ermsey's Mookie Betts card as him as a Dodger or as a Red Sox, which didn't go down quite well. A lot of people were kind of bitter. They had him as a Red Sox. Can't win, have him a Red Sox. The Dodgers hate him. Have him a Dodger. The Red Sox hate him.
The Red Sox hate it. Yeah, exactly.
So, but I thought that was a cool card. Fuki's Frank Viola with his kind of
okay.
I really like that style. I think it helped I hit a foil card in that one too, but that was a bonus. But I thought that was a kind of fun Bauhaus inspired background card with Frank Viola. So definitely something unusual. Futura's Vlad Guerrero Senior card, which you asked about that there. I just thought that was an outstanding one there. Gregory Sips Darryl Strawberry. That was one of Sips' first card out there, and I thought I was kind of hoping he'd do the same style they did the whole way through, which wasn't quite the same, but I still enjoy it there. Infinite Archives Fernando Tatis Jr. It was based off the kind of 1983 set, which I always like, and just thought it was a cool card. Jeff Staples Acuna. So that was the one, that was the Friday the 13th one where he had the hockey mask over that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool card there. Funny enough, JK5's Lee Mazzilli card. Now, if you didn't see this one is disco inspired. Like he is wearing a leisure suit and there is a disco ball in there. So probably not high up on people's cards to go and see there, but you know what? It was something different. I kind of enjoyed that. Morning Bryce Harper card. So that was based off the 1971 set. And we just thought it was really well done. And it stood out from the design. Natural's David Ortiz card. Now that one was really cool. That was the big speech after the Boston Marathon went on. So I thought that was just really well done. Pose Andre Dawson. So I just thought it was just really kind of a big jumble that worked really well together. If you look at the card, let's see. I think I had it. Now I'm going to see if I can. It's really going to work well on the podcast when I show you this big.
Well, yeah, you go raking for that. I'll explain the Brittany Palmer, Jim Palmer, Pac-Man thing.
Right.
Because I just googled. I googled that while we were chatting there. So it says the connection. Brittany. This is from Brittany Palmer's website. The connections to 1987 and this player are extraordinary. We both share the same last name, and he has an uncanny resemblance to my father, Glenn. Jim holds the high score record of 268 wins for the Orioles, and his number 22 carries weight in my heart. It's an important date when my father passed. 1987 was the year I was born. Arcade games were the thing. It was all about high scores and the thrills. Weaving all of these recurring themes to celebrate Jim Palmer's legacy and the interconnection to my heart gave such great harmony to Topps Project 70. There you go. If you would like a silver signed Brittany Palmer autograph version of that card, on sale on her website at the moment for the princely sum of $250 United States dollars.
Wow. And which is funny because 1987 was full on Nintendo. So she's like 6 years off because it was like 80, 81 was like Pac-Man. Like I think 86 you were in the Miss Pac-Man and all there. So all right. I happen to have the Dawson card there. I gave you a look at it there, but it's just
I remember this one. Yeah.
I think this works really well as a jumble there. But then, like I said, I have a thing for those weird kind of arty cards. So that's my Inception thing right there. Let's see. Oh, I thought Quick's Clemente was really cool. And it was kind of on a pirate ship, and he had the Pittsburgh Pirate mascot in the background there. I just thought it was actually really well done. It was good. Ron English Darryl Strawberry card. Now, Ron English's cards have not gone down very well, but I think Darryl Strawberry, I think he's green in the photo there. But I just thought it was a cool card. It was really cool how it was done. The Shoe Surgeons Bryce Harper card, that was the GTA inspired card. That was kind of one of the first kind of cool tie-ins from there. The Soulfly Ken Griffey Jr. card, I thought was really cool. It was kind of a cool throwback to the early 90s, and you kind of have like the Trapper Keeper inspired kind of stuff there, and the colors worked with the teal and the blue and the purple. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, we have Tyson Beck, the Hank Aaron card. So I thought that was just the colors worked really well with the blue and the green, and it really tied the card well together there.
Yeah, it kind of suited Tyson Beck's style, that one as well, did it?
It did. So I thought it was just good. Good artwork all around, and I like that there. Second to last one, Undefeated's Ricky Henderson. And it was him holding up the base after he had broke Lou Brock's record there. And I thought that was actually just an outstanding card. So
yeah, pretty cool. A pretty cool image to pick for that card.
Cool. So, any guess what the number one card would be?
If I had to stake my mortgage on it, probably RD's Dave Parker, because
it is. Of course, it is. It couldn't be anything else besides Dave Parker, of course. And of course, if it is, haven't heard the story. I sent Alex Pardee a tweet early on when we were doing this and said, "Hey, I don't know if you have your cards set or not, but here's a cool Dave Parker card where he broke his jaw and wore a mask for I think like a month there." And then next thing you know, he waited to the first and only Friday the 13th of last year, and dropped.
And it was around Halloween time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was October, I think so. Yeah, so I to have the largest artist of the set do a card for us is pretty damn cool. So it couldn't be anything else besides that Dave Parker card.
No, I had to. I thought maybe you'd have screwed me and said no, it was the 101.
No, the 101 Morning Breath Mike Trout. No, it's not. That's not it.
It's not that way. I thought maybe you'd just make me look a fool on purpose, but there you go.
No. So,
but yeah,
so it's kind of good set. I will post this on social media later, so when you're watching or if you listen later, you can see which cards I was looking at. Of course, always happy to hear what you think is been the most interesting cards there. Probably trim it down to a top 10. It might be easier.
Yeah. I might try and do a top 5 for next week. And need to remind me. I'll do some research into it. I'll maybe pick my top 5 or something.
Top 7, because then that would be all of a Bronson set.
All of Bronson's cards. Yeah, it's touche. Well played. Yeah, I like that.
A top 3 of Bronson's cards.
A Bronson top 3. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, maybe I will actually. I'll need to have a rummage back through the archives and. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll have a rummage through my drawer because if I liked it, I bought it pretty much. So. I'll see what I've got floating around in my Project 70 drawer, and I'll pick some personal highlights for next week. But yeah, cheers for that, Jason. It's a pretty good rundown. Like I said, we'll put the list together and tweet out some pictures of Jason's favorite cards over the next few days. So keep an eye out for that on social media. Maybe once the print runs, we have to stop doing print runs. That's how we can fill like a month's worth of tweeting. You do your top 25, I'll do my top 7.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about doing top 3 or something like that from each artist as well, just to kind of.
Oh, there we go. There's life in this bitch yet, right?
Well, they said like I need content. Damn it, I need some content.
Oh, jeez, I'll need to start tweeting out. I'll maybe start tweeting out pictures of stuff that I break. There you go. We'll find content. Don't worry about it. We'll find something. That's cool. Thanks for doing that, Jason. That's pretty awesome. So we'll close out as we always do. Not as we always do, but let's quickly talk about Bunt. We can squeeze in a few minutes to talk about Bunt. Always like to talk about it. Probably my favorite Topps product at the moment. Has been all year. I think we're both still very surprised with how much we're engrossed in it. Is it fair to say?
I love it. Like I said, it's like the first thing I do. I guess with no baseball, there's no sport right now. So the first thing I do is I pull my board Cheerios, sit down with my little espresso, and pull Bunt out and go, all right. What missions do I have? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's espresso to go with the Cheerios. And then when I get back from the kids' room, then you got the first coffee there. That's how the morning goes. Casa Dura, like I said, espresso and coffee. So yeah, but the first thing I do is absolutely just sit down there and sip my espresso and play Bunt. That's how I roll.
The one thing we should talk about on Bunt, because I think we probably had, between the two of us, having like 6 accounts, we should give an honorable mention to Jay Buhner.
Yes, we got him on there. I was actually.
Yeah. So again, if you're not familiar with Top Spun, every week the fans, so the players of the game, we get to vote on which player we would like to see in the fans' choice for that week. I've just opened this week's pack actually. Steve Garvey this week.
Yes, that was.
And yeah, Jay Buhner, there's Man Crush, appeared 2 weeks ago. We all got voting like crazy trying to get Jay Buhner.
I got Jay.
Got tapped. Did someone just fall off your wall?
I'm sure it did. There's all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you're. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there we go. Obviously, lots of people agreed, and we got a Jay Buhner fans' choice a couple of weeks ago. And well, my co-host here was ecstatic.
That was the one card I was hoping that maybe I'd get a Project 71 there. If I get a second card out of that, I was hoping. I thought maybe we'd get a Jay Buhner card, but it's not in the works.
Well, there we go.
But yeah, no, I'm still enjoying it. I think it's because I can kind of check in every once in a while, and actually, I really enjoy the last couple of days till the new sets come out, where I'm trading with everybody to try to finish my sets off. I think that's probably one of my favorite things there.
Yeah, so obviously we've spoken that next week, not this week, next week, Series 1, 2022 Series 1 comes out. So I think it's a reasonably safe assumption that around about the same time, maybe, with Bunt, we're going to see the swap over from 2021 base cards to 2022. So we'll go back to having 0 common cards, 0 tier 1s, and away we go for the next year. Interestingly enough, the first cheeky release of 2022 is actually Archives Signature Series, and Topps Archives came out on Bunt last week. I know a few people in our in our group, the Topps Bunt UK group, have been plowing through Archives with enthusiasm. Not Archive Signature, I know, but the two sets are sort of sisters with each other, I guess. But yeah, still 2021 base cards come with that set. So if we see, let's see when the 2022 base cards come out, but I think we can expect them in the next week to 10 days, I would imagine.
Fingers crossed. Now I'm trying to think, because we started playing about March last year, and we must have got about a week or two of the previous series there.
Possibly, yeah.
Because I have some random 2020 cards in there that I'm like, I didn't actually, but then I had no idea what I was doing there. So I was just opening up.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think I do as well. Yeah, maybe we've got like a half set of 2020 stuff. Yeah, that's a good point. So whether or not it was lined up with opening day, that's more that timeline rather than 2020. But I mean, we've tried to draw this line of parity before with physical release and release on Bunt, and they just don't seem to line up at all. But you'd think when it comes to flagship, when it's your communal garden base cards, that they would line it up, but probably not. So I'd say if it's not next week, it'll be opening day. But when's opening day likely to be? August?
Exactly.
Who knows, right? It's just baseball's such a shit show, is it?
Well, that's all right. As long as it happens before the All-Star break, because
that's true.
We're in Atlantic City. We're going to Philly, and we're catching some damn ball games.
We're catching some damn games. That's true, man. I'm right with you. My other highlight from Bunt in the last couple of weeks was Series 2 of the arcade collection, which I managed to fill. Thank you for giving me my last 2. So yeah, I enjoyed that set as well. But nothing that's released since then has really floated my boat. I imagine you'd be all over Exuberance because it's very it's very exuberant. It's sort of it's sort of Inception-ish. I thought you'd be all over that.
I bought like probably 10 packs and then went, nah. And then I put all my money into what was the one that just finished there? Archive. What's it? But yeah, I looked at, no, it was Not Ginter. It was the one that just finished. Now I gotta do it.
If it just finished, I'm going to struggle to find it.
But yes, so I looked at Exuberance and kind of went, nah, I'm not really that interested in the cards there. So I decided to save my coins. Again, I'm still waiting for triple threads. I'm gonna blow 1 million on triple threads. That's my plan.
1 million on triple threads. Wow.
1 million on triple threads. Because we're just gonna build it back up again. Like I said,
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think when that. It was quite early in the season last year, wasn't it?
Because that was the first one that really kind of hooked me. Because I thought the cards were cool. So as long as the cards are cool, I'm usually fairly in. And you know what? It'll be sets and awards.
That's just where I'm going, but there's so many different archive sets. There was Granite. Was it Granite?
Yeah, I saw. No, it wasn't. It was Gallery. I put Gallery. Gallery. I grinded my way into Gallery and picked up quite a few of the sets there.
If you're needing any spares, I think I started on it and then changed my mind. So if I've got any you need, you can just send me a.
Well, it's over with now. No, I got them all there because again, I look at what the. we got a question from Glenn here, and I'll let you to go from there. But I look at the award card, and then whoever it is, that's what determines if I'm going for them or not. So yeah. So I got that cool Jackie Robinson kind of stained glass one. That was an award card. That, and then there was a Shohei Ohtani one. I kind of figured, well, you might as well go for the big names, and I'm not going to go for Juan Soto. It doesn't know Bryce Harper. Or there was Alex Rodriguez and I was like, I don't really need an A-Rod card.
Nobody does, right? So Glenn's comment on 22 top space. What a boring design. Looks like any Bowman set from the past 10 years. I think they've just given up. That's the thing with flagship, though, right? They tend not to rock the boat too much with it. Like occasionally they'll swap from having a white background card and they'll flip it and do a black background card. But they tend not to rock the boat too much when it comes to flagship. Now, quite what focus groups they're commissioning to make these decisions, I don't know, because I'm actually in wholehearted agreement. I've been very nonplussed by the Topps flagship design for the last sort of 2 or 3 years. It's very samey and, like I say, not very much changes. And Bowman's very much like that as well. But then they're sort of trying to play the tradition game with Bowman without changing the paper base and because people chase the chrome and the inserts and whatever else. So yeah, I kind of agree. It's not a design that's going to set the world on fire, but it's a very neutral design, I think, because it needs to appeal to a wide variety of collectors. It's very non-confrontational, I guess. It's not like Inception, where Jason loves it, and I think it was designed by some drunk toddlers in a darkened room.
And fire as well. Like
fire, yeah. Well, fire. That's fire, man.
I didn't realize Tyson Bex has been doing that set since 2015.
Is that his set? Is it?
It is his set. He does it every year. So
yeah, I knew because they started putting his name on the box with the Fire soccer cards that came out this year. It was like Tyson Beck's Fire is what they called it, but I didn't realize he'd done the other sets as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I had to do a deep dig because I wanted to make sure I was getting my information right, because we've got a new follower in Ireland, and he collects cards out there, and he likes Fire, so I chimed in that I liked it, and then I said, wait, yeah, pretty sure it was designed by Tyson Beck. And then I was like, oh, he's been doing it since 2015. I was like, cool. All right.
There we go.
So,
there you go.
So it's Tyson Beck's Fire now. So, again, he's a big enough name to kind of hold his own set. So,
yeah, there you go. There's another Project 2020, right? He was in Project 2020, and there you go. Now he's getting his name on stuff, which is a bit of an upgrade. When we had... we've had other Topps artists on who don't get the name check, for, Jared Kelly springs to mind, and, and they're sort of on
Josh Trout and all those guys.
Josh Trout, yeah, they're sort of on the lesser known side of it, despite the fact they do phenomenal work. So, so there's that discussion to be had as well, but that's definitely one for another day. But yeah, there we go. Lovely bit of Bunt news. So yeah, let's see if we get 2022 Bunt between now and Christmas.
and a rip party. Let's just see.
And a rip party. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we'll need to. Yeah, we'll definitely still do our rip party next week. That'd be cool. All right. Awesome. Well, we've managed to fill yet another episode. So that's great news. And yeah, apologies for my getting the release of Series 1 flagship wrong. So again, just to clear that up, it's not this week, it is next week. What I'm up at. And it's good to know that half a baseball card can sell for $500,000. It's almost parity, isn't it? So on that note, go on, sorry.
No, so you gotta go check your couch. See if you can find any couches there.
Yeah, my couch is 2 years old from DFS. I don't think I'm going to find half a Honus Wagner down there, but I might find half a DJ LeMahieu. but I don't think there's any Honus Wagners hanging out.
There was one other thing, kid. There was the couple that had bought a house in back in the States, and they took the wall down, and they found their wall covered in baseball cards.
That's right, a wall covered in baseball cards. Ah, that was cool. Yeah, it was like your backdrop there, but yeah, it was like an interior wall. Yeah, but better. Yeah, I saw that story. Yeah, that we want to cover next week.
We'll cover it next week. We'll give us something to talk about when we break and mispronounce guys' names.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sitting trying to remember stuff. Well, until next week then. Jason, thanks very much as always. Great to have you on.
Cheers. It's always fun to chat up there, guys. Thanks for everyone that chimed in and said hello. Glenn, Laura, and David. That was the other one that was on there. So yeah, always nice when you guys make comments on there. We really appreciate you guys engaging with us here. So yeah,
and keeping me right on release dates of products. So yeah, thanks,
exactly. we would have been all set for tomorrow. It's coming out. Oh no, it's not.
Oh god. Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to do an extra special episode to admit to being a Muppet. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in this week. As always, this will be available as a podcast from this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. You should see it on there. And yeah, we'll be back live next Tuesday. So Tuesday the 15th, we'll give Valentine's Day a miss. We'll be back Tuesday the 15th at 9 p.m. UK to celebrate the release of Topps flagship with our own little rip party. And we'll still have the usual news and banter, and Jason will have a tear in his eye over the death of Project 70. And and yeah, we'll find something else for Jason to get excited about.
I'll have to find something there.
Yeah, until then, thanks very much again, everybody. Take care of yourselves.
Guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Stay safe.